For centuries, history has whispered lies disguised as facts. What we were taught to believe was only the surface. Beneath stone, ash, and silence, something far more unsettling has been waiting. Not a legend, not a theory, but evidence powerful enough to force experts to rethink everything. This discovery wasn't meant to be found yet, and once you understand what was uncovered, you'll realize why some truths were buried on purpose. Stay with me, because what comes next changes the story forever. For more than 200 years, Oak Island has remained one of history's most irresistible riddles. It's drawn in fortune seekers, scholars, and explorers alike, captivated by the legend of the Money Pit. A shaft said to plunge impossibly deep, protected by sophisticated traps far beyond its time. Generation after generation returned, driven by hope, only to leave with frustration and unanswered questions. All they ever found were fragments, an inscribed stone, traces of coconut fiber from across the ocean, and unsettling rumors of a deadly curse. The price of the search has been staggering, not only in lost wealth, but in lost lives. Then came what appeared to be just another routine scan. Brothers Rick and Marty Lagina, who had invested years of dedication and enormous resources into the island, decided to push further than anyone before them. Armed with advanced drilling systems, seismic imaging, and modern detection tools, they were determined to break the cycle of failure. What most people don't realize is that the biggest breakthroughs often happen when you're not even looking for them. While probing a powerful magnetic anomaly far beneath the original Money Pit, their industrial drill tore through solid bedrock and suddenly dropped into empty space. The data went wild. What they had discovered was a massive void, clearly artificial, sitting an unbelievable 1,320 feet underground, deeper than the height of the Empire State Building. This wasn't a natural cave. When cameras were lowered inside, what they revealed stunned everyone. Perfectly cut stone walls, arched ceilings, engineering so precise it seemed impossible for its supposed age. The team gave it a name, Chamber X. Excitement filled the air. Could this finally be it? After 2 centuries of dead ends, had they reached the heart of the mystery, the vault itself? But Oak Island has never given up its secrets easily. Reaching the chamber was anything but simple. It lay far below the infamous flood tunnels that had defeated every previous dig. Accessing it meant designing an entirely new shaft, a massive engineering feat that required months of meticulous planning and execution. And that's when everything started to change. The pressure was crushing. The entire world seemed to be watching, and the island's infamous curse, spoken of in hushed tones for generations, felt closer than ever. When the team finally breached the chamber wall, what followed was a moment no one was prepared for. Pure disbelief. The first live footage sent back by the submersible drone left everyone frozen. Illuminated by its lights were vast piles of gold and silver coins stacked like small hills across the stone floor. Ornate gold chains draped over ancient chests, while exquisitely crafted relics lay scattered in every direction. This wasn't the kind of treasure pirates buried. It was far older, far more deliberate, and far more significant. No one had truly expected to see this. The sheer magnitude of wealth was staggering, valued in the hundreds of millions, possibly billions. The legends hadn't lied. The Oak Island treasure was real. It had been there all along, but the gold was only the beginning. As the investigation of Chamber X continued, it became clear that this space wasn't just a vault, it was a time capsule, a carefully preserved sanctuary holding objects of immense historical and spiritual importance, because the most powerful treasures aren't always measured in gold. At the center of the chamber stood something that sent shockwaves through the academic world, a finely sculpted cross, nearly 3 feet tall. It was crafted from gold and silver, fused with a mysterious dark material that immediately puzzled scientists. The detailing was extraordinary, mirroring symbols long associated with medieval Christian military orders. This single artifact became the first undeniable link to the Knights Templar, the warrior monks believed to have vanished along with their immense fortune in the 1300s. For decades, theories connecting the Templars to Oak Island were dismissed as fantasy. But now, sealed beneath the Atlantic, undeniable proof sat before them. It suggested the Templars may not have been destroyed at all, but instead escaped Europe and reached North America centuries before Columbus ever set sail. The implications were enormous. One object alone had the potential to rewrite vast chapters of history. And the revelations didn't stop there. Carved into the walls of Chamber X were, inside them, the team discovered dozens of scrolls, perfectly preserved within sealed lead cylinders. This wasn't just a treasure chamber, it was an archive, a hidden library belonging to a lost civilization. When researchers carefully opened the tubes, they found texts written in Latin, Old French, and intricate coded scripts that resisted immediate translation. Early analysis of the Latin documents was astonishing. These weren't religious writings, they were technical manuals, detailed schematics outlining the money pit's flood tunnels, defensive systems, and trap mechanisms. It was essentially an instruction guide explaining how the island had protected itself for centuries. For anyone obsessed with puzzles and secret codes, this was the ultimate discovery. Even more unsettling were signs of advanced engineering scattered throughout the chamber. Precision-cut gears, complex valves, and stone mechanisms whose designs seemed impossibly advanced for their supposed age. The level of accuracy suggested knowledge far beyond the accepted timeline of human technology. Adding to the unease, the team found what appeared to be human remains placed carefully within wall niches, almost like silent guardians watching over the chamber's secrets. This place was no ordinary vault. It was a tomb, a museum, and a repository of lost knowledge, sealed together in a single hidden space. Then, tucked away in a dark corner, they found it, a massive, heavily secured chest. This wasn't just a container, it felt like a message, a final puzzle left behind for someone brave or foolish enough to find it. Yet despite everything already uncovered, there was something far more disturbing that few were willing to discuss. Some of the objects inside Chamber X simply didn't belong anywhere in known human history. Pause for a second and let that sink in. The strange, dark metal embedded in the cross was unlike any material ever recorded. After months of exhaustive testing in the world's most advanced laboratories, the results stunned everyone. Its atomic structure was completely unknown. It was lighter than aluminum, stronger than titanium, and showed zero signs of corrosion. By all known scientific standards, it shouldn't exist. There was only one conclusion left. This material wasn't made on Earth, and that revelation was only the start. The advanced mechanical components found throughout the chamber were subjected to radiocarbon dating, and the results were almost impossible to accept. The dates traced back thousands of years before the Knights Templar ever existed, a time when humanity was supposedly limited to crude tools and primitive craftsmanship. Yet here, hidden beneath Oak Island, was machinery built with precision comparable to a modern Swiss watch, which left one unavoidable question. So if the Templars weren't the original builders, then who was? That single question opened the door to a possibility so radical it sounds like science fiction. What if the architects of the Oak Island complex weren't human at all? For decades, people have speculated that ancient civilizations may have encountered visitors from beyond Earth. Now, a growing number of researchers believe Chamber X was never intended to be a conventional treasure vault. Instead, it may have been designed as a long-term archive, left behind by an advanced, non-human intelligence. When you look at the evidence, the pieces begin to align. The impossible metal, the sophisticated machinery, the symbols and codes no one can crack. Together, they form something much larger than a pirate legend. Some theorists suggest the chamber was meant to be opened only when humanity reached a certain level of understanding. Suddenly, the island's long-documented magnetic anomalies and unexplained radiation readings no longer seem random. What if those signals were never pointing to buried wealth at all? What if they were residual energy, echoes of dormant technology quietly waiting beneath the island? From this perspective, the true treasure of Oak Island isn't gold or silver. It's knowledge, possibly a kind of instruction manual, one not meant for a single generation, but for humanity itself. If that's true, the implications are staggering. It would mean Earth's history includes a hidden chapter, an encounter deliberately erased or concealed for thousands of years. And it would mean the Templars didn't create the vault. They found it. They may have recognized its importance and assumed the role of protectors. Over time, they added their own relics, wealth, and symbols, building layer upon layer atop an ancient foundation. The deadly traps and flood tunnels weren't designed to guard riches, but to protect a truth too powerful to be revealed prematurely. And the scrolls? They may be the key to everything. If Chamber X truly functions as a repository of ancient knowledge, then what exactly is written inside those sealed texts? While some clearly describe engineering systems, many of the coded writings remain completely undeciphered. And this is where the story takes a surprising turn. A controversial theory links Oak Island not to knights or extraterrestrials, but to one of the most famous names in literature, William Shakespeare. According to this idea, Shakespeare's works were actually written by Sir Francis Bacon, a philosopher, scientist, and political figure believed to have led a powerful secret society. Supporters of this theory claim Bacon and his inner circle hid original manuscripts and priceless documents on Oak Island, protecting them until a future age capable of understanding their deeper meanings. They argue the strange ciphers found within Chamber X match Bacon's known encryption methods. If fully decoded, these writings might not only challenge literary history, but reveal lost knowledge of science, philosophy, and human development. It sounds unbelievable until you consider one chilling detail. Years ago, unusually high levels of mercury were detected deep within the money pit. In the 1600s, mercury was commonly used to preserve paper and protect documents from decay. Now connect the dots. What if the Templars passed their guardianship to later secret societies, eventually to one led by Francis Bacon? That would mean Oak Island wasn't just hiding treasure, but safeguarding humanity's most powerful ideas. That possibility leads directly to the most legendary mystery of all, the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant. Many believe the Templars discovered sacred relics in the Holy Land and relocated them to a secure location. If so, the cross found in Chamber X may not be symbolic at all, but a deliberate marker, a sign pointing towards something far greater. Whether it's the true Grail, the Ark, or something even more profound? This changes how we see the Lagina brothers' journey. Were they simply lucky explorers, or were they chosen? Some now believe the entire search functioned like an initiation. Every clue, every obstacle, a test, leading them toward a role they never expected. They are no longer just treasure hunters, they are the latest custodians in a chain stretching back centuries. And with that role comes an enormous responsibility. Because the real treasure was never gold. It was knowledge and the power that comes with it. As the world watched, one final discovery pushed the mystery even deeper. In a shadowed corner of Chamber X, the team uncovered a massive chest, reinforced with iron and sealed by a complex locking mechanism. It took experts days to open it safely. When the lid was finally raised, it revealed a cache of gold coins dating to the early 1600s. Instead of providing answers, it raised new questions. The cross suggested medieval origins. The coins pointed to a later era, which meant only one thing. The chamber had been accessed repeatedly across generations, maintained by a hidden lineage or secret order. But who were they? The revelation of Chamber X sent shockwaves through archaeology, history, and popular culture. Media coverage exploded. The Curse of Oak Island became the most watched program on television. Experts flooded in from around the world to study artifacts that appeared to rewrite history in real time. Yet discoveries of this magnitude bring new dangers. How do you excavate something so important without destroying it? How do you reveal the truth without unleashing consequences no one understands? The Canadian government has already stepped in, declaring Oak Island a protected national site under strict control. At this point, the story is no longer about treasure, it's about meaning. What secrets remain hidden in the unread scrolls? Who engineered the systems beneath the island? What is the unknown metal embedded in the cross? And who are the individuals sealed within the chamber walls? If the Knights Templar didn't build this place, then one question becomes impossible to ignore. Who did? That question opens the door to a theory so extreme it borders on science fiction. What if the original architects of Oak Island were not human at all? For years, researchers have speculated that ancient civilizations may have encountered visitors from beyond Earth. Now, some believe Chamber X was never intended as a treasure vault in the traditional sense. Instead, it may be a time capsule left behind by an advanced intelligence, waiting to be discovered only when humanity was ready. When you examine the evidence, the pattern is unsettling. The impossible metal, the advanced mechanical systems, the unbreakable ciphers found on the scrolls, none of it fits neatly into known history. Even the strange magnetic anomalies and unexplained radiation readings reported on the island for decades suddenly make sense. What if those signals were never pointing to gold? What if they were residual energy from dormant technology buried deep underground? From this perspective, the true treasure of Oak Island isn't wealth, it's knowledge, possibly a guide left behind to be understood in a distant future. If this theory holds any truth, then the Templars didn't create the vault. They discovered it. They may have recognized its importance and took on the role of guardians, adding their own relics, symbols, and defenses over time. The deadly flood tunnels weren't meant to protect gold, but to conceal a secret powerful enough to change humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. The scrolls may be the key to everything. While some appear to contain engineering schematics, many remain undeciphered. And this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. One theory connects Oak Island not to knights or aliens, but to Sir Francis Bacon, the philosopher and scientist many believe was the true author behind Shakespeare's works. According to this idea, Bacon and a secret society hid priceless manuscripts and encoded knowledge on Oak Island, preserving them for a future generation capable of understanding their deeper meaning. Supporting this theory is a strange detail discovered years ago: unusually high levels of mercury deep inside the money pit. In the 1600s, mercury was commonly used to preserve documents. That detail alone raises disturbing questions. What if guardianship of the vault was passed down through secret groups over centuries? What if Oak Island became a mission to protect humanity's most powerful knowledge? This leads directly to legends of the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant. Many believe the Templars once possessed these relics. If so, the cross found in Chamber X may not be symbolic, but a marker pointing to something even greater. This changes everything. Are the explorers simply lucky, or were they guided toward this discovery? Some believe the entire journey was an initiation, each clue a test. The real treasure was never gold. It was knowledge. And now the question remains, should it ever be fully revealed? The team may have uncovered the treasure, but have they also uncovered a past that was never meant to return? What do you think is still being kept from the public? Share your theories in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into history's deepest mysteries.